Hi, welcome to Issues and Insights. I'm your host, Melanie Parker. Today I have two wonderful guests. I'm glad you're joining us. Megan Allen, Field Sales Rep for Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shields. Welcome, Megan. And Jamie Sizemore, Executive Director of Feeding America, Kentucky's Heartland. I'm looking at my notes because those are wordy and I want to make sure I get that right. These are important things. So welcome, ladies. Glad to have you on this rainy day. Appreciate your time. Social drivers of health. I'm just going to hit it. I'm just going to go for that first bullet. Social drivers of health. Who's going to get that one? Megan, is that you?
Yes. All right. Question. So at Anthem, we focus on a whole person approach.
Okay.
We want to make sure not only to address the medical needs of any of our members, we want to make sure that there's some external factors that contribute to people as far as their access to health care, their access to healthy foods, and so that's where our partnership with Feeding America Kentucky
Awesome.
comes in.
See, until today I had no idea. That's really good information. Thank you very much. And food insecurity. Golly, where do you even start on that one? Yeah. Are we focusing on the youth, or is it an issue all the way up into the twilight years?
So that's a great question. It involves every age range. And so if you look at food insecurity is really a person's reliable access to healthy and nutritious food.
Right.
And so that can be obviously children, even at a home situation, all the way through seniors up in their senior years, and whether they have access to that healthy food, that lifestyle.
So that sort of lends itself to a collaboration between the two of you. Logistically, what does that look like? Do you meet? How do you all collaborate what you do?
So really the collaboration started in 2019. Lloyd, who is one of the Anthem reps, was at one of our mobile food pantries that we were doing in Warren County, in Bowling Green actually.
Right.
And so Lloyd and I started talking, and I said, what do you think your company would like to collaborate with us in a partnership? Because one of the things that we see with food insecure clients is having access to fresh, nutritious fruits and vegetables, for example, is just not viable.
Right.
So if you think about it, a food insecure person, if you don't have money to purchase food, then you're not going to get food. There's plenty of food in this country,
right.
But unless you grow your own food and you source your own protein, then if you don't have money, you don't have access to food. And when food insecure clients do have money to purchase food, they're going to purchase processed foods that are high in calories. They can't afford to spend money on perishable foods like fresh fruits and vegetables, especially.
Right.
They're not going to have the money a lot of times to spend on meat because protein is very expensive, or even dairy. So foods that we like to encourage, especially with food insecure clients, are fresh fruits and vegetables, lean protein, and then also lean dairy. So that's kind of how the partnership started.
Great.
I'll have to give Lloyd credit. He must have got on the phone immediately, because by the time I got back from Bowling Green to my office, I had a message from his boss saying, "We're very interested in talking with you about a partnership."
Well, and it makes perfect sense. And I see what you're saying. Years and years and years ago, I was a single mom with 3 children. And I was in that situation where I didn't have a lot of extra money. So my treats for my children, or their rewards, were things I could get with a food stamp card.
Yes.
It was the everybody pick your favorite sugary cereal, and everybody pick your processed food, fruit snacks or whatever. So, but that was just the mindset then, because we didn't have the extra money. So it's good to have people like you all in place who can say, you all need to be doing A, B, and C, to ensure the growth, mental, physical, healthy growth of your children. So that's a wonderful collaboration. It really is. Both of you have the ultimate same goal to make sure our little ones, all the way up to our seasoned folks like myself, are healthy.
Absolutely.
And I really like that. This past year, who are we telling, right? This past year has been challenging beyond belief. What have been your biggest challenges, Jamie?
So obviously the numbers have just skyrocketed.
Right.
March, April, May, and through June were really, really tough in 2020. So families with school-age children have really been impacted by this pandemic more than any other group, for obvious reasons. You know, kids were out of school, they were doing virtual learning, which means there needs to be more food in the household.
True.
And the school districts have done a tremendous job. I mean, you have to applaud the school districts.
Oh, definitely.
We cover 42 counties in the state of Kentucky, including Hardin County. And all of our school districts have really tried and done a fantastic job. However, you know, some parents didn't have the transportation in order to go pick that food up, or it just still wasn't enough. So we know that our families with school-age children have been impacted the most. It's going to take years for them to recover financially because they have dipped into savings, they've ran credit cards up, and even when they do go back to work, we just know that it takes time for a household to recover from that. So guess what? You have to, you know, you have to pay your mortgage, or you have to pay your rent. You have to keep a roof over your head.
Right.
You have to pay your electric bill in order to keep the lights on. You have to put gas in your car to go to work. So when you run out of money in your household budget, guess what's the first thing that you have to give up? And that's food.
Right.
It's really a sad situation because we know parents are skipping meals in order for their kids to make sure that their kids have enough.
I believe that.
I have personally taken phone calls from mothers who will be crying on the phone saying, you know, I never thought that our family would find ourselves in this situation. You know, maybe one of them has lost a job. We have a lot of mothers and fathers alike who have had to stay at home to help their children with virtual learning.
Right. Or daycares are closed.
Absolutely.
And what do you do?
Absolutely.
I've wondered that, yes.
So when you start cutting the household budget, I mean, it's just a no-win situation for that family. Right. And so there's nothing that is just more, I think, disturbing than to hear a mother on the phone say, I don't care about myself.
Right.
Help me find food for my children. I cannot let my children go hungry.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, that's been what we've been faced with.
So disheartening. So, Kentucky, Feeding America Kentucky's Heartland, you all are fabulous. I've had very wonderful experiences with you all, professionally, personally, all of it. What else do you all do, as if that's not enough, but what else do you all do with families besides the healthy eating? Is there any other services you provide?
Well, we're solely focused on providing food to those that are food insecure. However, we have 230 partner agencies throughout our 42 counties. I call them the real boots on the ground. They're the soup kitchens, the pantries, church pantries, all across our distribution area, and so they collaborate a lot with their local, for example, you know, food sciences department. They may actually come out and do some classes for those that are food insecure and talk about healthy eating and fresh fruits and vegetables, which leads back to our partnership.
Right.
So, you know, our partner agencies are doing a lot to make sure that those that are food insecure in their particular county, helping them reach out to other resources.
I love to see collaboration between different organizations, and maybe I'm biased, but I'm a Hardin County girl, so I think that there's a lot of that goes on here in Hardin County, and I take great pride in that. Yeah. That's wonderful. All right, let's talk about Medicare. Okay, let's do it. You are the Medicare 101 lady, are you not, Megan?
I am.
Awesome,
yes.
because it's all related, isn't it? Health. Do you see, how has the pandemic affected what you do?
So just like Jamie mentioned, we, you know, in addition to, you know, the families that we service through our produce partnership, not being able to get access, you know, to all the food that they need, we provide, I like to say a big chunk of what I do is providing information. It's educating those who may not otherwise know what programs or services are available to them.
Wow.
I mean, it is county-based, so the programs that we do offer for those individuals who are eligible for Medicare and also eligible For Medicaid, in some cases, those are now statewide. So we have those programs in every county. But unfortunately, throughout the pandemic, there were several months there that, just like everyone else, we were at home and we weren't able to communicate with those people face to face. And so that was hard because we do, service those counties. We service every county in the state. So to not be able to get in front of those people who do qualify for those programs that could help them beyond just their medical needs, like we talked about, those social drivers of health.
Yes.
Additional food boxes, pest control. There are things like over-the-counter benefits that people qualify for, and those are programs they don't, may otherwise not know about. So it was a struggle for us to be able to get that across those people, just because we weren't able to provide the information to them.
It sounds like all of our communication skills have been really tested
Yes.
over the past year and a half or so.
Yes.
So what is your normal avenue to get that information out? Do you go to organizations, individuals, wait for them to give you a call? Do you do workshops? How do you get that information out to the general public?
Yeah, so as part of our partnership with Feed American in Kentucky's Heartland, I think we said there was about 100 different produce drops for the past few years now since we started our partnership. So we are on site at nearly all produce drops. Where we can volunteer, or we have access to, we do that. But we provide information. We hand out pamphlets. We are there. We usually set up a table. We're there to check eligibility for Medicare, additional programming that people may qualify for. We answer questions. And so, again, we just want to make sure that people know what services and what programs are available to them.
Because you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Absolutely. And when you talk about, these close to 100 events, we have been able to distribute over 900,000 pounds of produce at those events. I mean, it's just been phenomenal.
It really is.
And those started August of 2019. And so here we are a year and a half into our relationship, and we're looking at a long-term relationship. Because good food is good medicine. And
I like that.
So if you think about it, I mean, we are trying to achieve the same things.
Definitely.
Anthem is working really hard to make sure that their clients are healthy and that they can help serve them, and so are we. So
it's all relative.
Right.
Absolutely. I know that a lot of local organizations like to do the camaraderie thing and would come to your place at Feeding America and fill the bags and those types of things. Are you still looking for volunteers, or is that kind of held off for now?
We yes, we are taking volunteers. There was a time when we had to close our volunteer center down just because no one knew what was going on with the pandemic and how it spread and so on. But yes, our volunteer center is open. Right now we're asking that people call and schedule because it's very limited. We do still have the Kentucky National Guard, our saviors. I mean, they are literally our saviors.
Absolutely.
They came in the 1st of April, and they're still with us.
Wow.
We had 40 in April helping us through about the first 4 months. We have 10 now, and that's plenty. That's exactly what we need.
Extra hands.
But we're still looking for volunteers, absolutely. And we're hoping as things progress. But, we've been very blessed. Out as we're doing distributions, we're doing a whole lot more drive-through distributions, which is what we're doing with our Anthem partnership. And those drive-through distributions, not only are we able to distribute the produce, but the way we have them set up, it's no contact. We're doing trunk loading, which keeps our volunteers safe and also keeps the clients safe as well.
So how would someone take advantage of that? Do they sign up? Do they have to register? Are they vetted? How would someone take advantage of a drive-through drop-off?
So when these events that we're doing through Anthem, the produce is for anyone in that particular county that is food insecure and needs produce. I mean, right now we are not asking for anything, for any identification, because we feel like
honor system.
Well,
I like it.
Absolutely. And things have changed. Used to clients were vetted based on their past income. Well, you may have had a good income and the pandemic hit and you lost your job. Well, you're food insecure immediately.
It's unprecedented, really.
Almost.
All of it is.
Absolutely. So all of that has been waived, and that's the great thing about the partnership with Anthem is we're able to serve anyone who needs fresh fruit and vegetables.
I love that. I love that. Are there, you said 100 different places?
100 different events.
Yes. And so can you name some here in Hardin County that are recurring? Are there recurring events?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, I know there's one. I work at this. It's the second Saturday every month at the Memorial United Methodist Church.
That's on Miles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they and I can speak just this. I think since the I don't know with every county, but I know there have been some counties since the stimuluses have come out. They've seen a lower turnout immediately, but then a pickup again the next month.
Right.
So I know the need, like Jamie mentioned, is still there, and that's what part of this partnership for us is to make sure that people are aware that not only do at the food distribution are they getting their food, but they're getting services like us as a resource to be able to reach out to for additional programming too.
So if someone wants to, so we do move these events around where we need to host them in one particular county or another. So they can always go to our Facebook page and we will post every single Anthem event. Now, if they're food insecure, all they need to do is go to our website, which is feedingamericaky.org, and there is a Find Help tab. You just click on that, you select your county, and it will show you all of our partner agencies who serve that county. And they can contact them, or it will show clearly when they're going to be distributing food. Now our Anthem events are not on that because they change so much, so we remind people to go to our Facebook page is the best way to follow those.
You can find everything on Facebook, right?
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can.
Yeah. And another arm, Megan, with the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and like we mentioned before, is Medicare.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So are children eligible for Medicare? Who exactly is eligible for Medicare?
It's a good question. I get this pretty frequently. I know people get confused between what Medicare and Medicaid
they are, what they do.
Yes,
it can be confusing. That's why we love having Megans around
to
explain these things to us.
Exactly.
Great.
So first of all, it's great. Our produce partnership is not limited to those who typically are eligible for Medicare, which most people think of as seniors.
Right.
Someone 65 and older is usually who is eligible for Social Security benefits, which makes them eligible for Medicare through the government. And then Medicaid is usually income-based, or it could be for younger children under 18. So our primary focus with our programming is for Medicare individuals, but we have dual program for those that may also be Medicare and Medicaid eligible. So while we're on site, we're handing out information, we're checking eligibility, we're discussing what the benefits are that they could get within the programming.
Got you. And there are different kinds of Medicare, correct? There was the original Medicare, I don't know how long that goes back, and now there is something called Medicare Advantage.
Right.
What is the difference between those two?
So original Medicare is, again, anyone who's eligible for Medicare because of
based
65,
on age?
based on 65. Now there are those individuals that we do see out at some of the distributions who are eligible for Medicare too, but they're not quite 65. They may have a certain chronic condition that makes them eligible for their original
Medicare. So they're
Medicare.
medically...
Yes, they qualify because of specific medical situations. So those individuals are eligible for Medicare too. But Medicare Advantage are programs, they have to offer at least the same amount of coverage that the original Medicare offers through Social Security, but they typically add additional benefits. So those are things like dental care, vision, over-the-counter benefits, as I mentioned before.
We all like that one-stop shop, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
It's just there to be an additional resource for those people who may be eligible for original Medicare.
Okay, and is that something that either goes aligned with or in lieu of a supplement?
Right. So so you can go different routes. We say you can have original Medicare, your A and B. You can have a supplemental policy, and then or you could go the Medicare Advantage route.
It sounds simpler to do that,
honestly. It does, and so it is a situational basis, and so we always tell people, our goal is to make sure they're on the right program for their specific needs. It's not a one-size-fits-all, which is why there's different programs available.
Sure.
A lot of the food distributions we work with, we do have people who qualify for Medicaid in addition to Medicare.
Okay.
So the benefits are a little bit richer, the dollar amounts are a little bit higher for maybe dental or over-the-counter benefits, and so that's why it's important for us to qualify them. And if they don't are quite eligible for full Medicaid, they might get what's called LIS, which is limited income assistance. So that's something where it helps pay for some or part or all of their Medicare. So there's all different resources available, and it can be really confusing, which is why we're on site.
Which is why they need to call Megan.
Right,
yes,
exactly.
Absolutely, because that's what you do, right? You're a sales rep, and that's what you do.
Every day.
And what is your district, or what is your area, region, and what do you cover?
Yeah, so technically I service the entire state of Kentucky. Yeah, so all 120 counties. Throughout the pandemic, as I mentioned before, it was our face-to-face without, throughout the communities that we service was really limited. So I have done quite a bit more phone consultations. But seniors, they're the great generation. I feel like they're the last generation that really values the face-to-face interaction.
True.
So I love that about my job and being able to service those people. So I look forward to the day we'll be able to continue to do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's tough with my job too. I really, really miss people.
Yes.
Very specific and just broad people in general. I know people think I'm crazy when I go through the grocery store behind my mask. My eyes are smiling because I'm just happy to be around as many people as I can.
Right.
Both of your organizations do so much more than the layman, myself, or the audience may know. Before we sign off, is there anything that we did not touch on that you really want people to know or that you want to share about your organization or some of the services that you provide?
Well, I think for us, it's just reminding people that 1 in 7 Kentuckians are food insecure. That's pretty significant.
It is.
Unfortunately, we're at the top when you look at the United States, and 1 in 5 children are food insecure in Kentucky. And those were pre-pandemic numbers. And so we know that those numbers, have even increased even more. And I guess just reminding people that, even when our masks are able to come off or we're feeling like, we're back to normal, we have to remember there are a lot of seniors and a lot of families with school-age children who are not going to recover that quickly.
Right. And what is normal anymore?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And so it's going to take a while for us to recover from this. And I guess for us, it's just, they can support us. Obviously financially, we always need additional funds and or food, and we're very resourceful. For every $1 that's donated to us, we can acquire 9 pounds worth of food.
Wow.
And that is enough for 8 meals.
Amazing.
Yes. So that's part of being part of the Feeding America Network. There's 200 food banks that belong to the Feeding America Network. So every single county in the United States is covered by a food bank that's part of our network.
Wow.
And that's what makes us so resourceful, is that we move food across the country. We rescue a lot of food that would otherwise go into landfills, a lot of food.
Wow.
We have retail pickup relationships with Walmarts and Sam's Clubs. And
so resourceful. I love it.
Yes. And they want to save that, that whether it's protein or produce or bakery, they just can't sell it, and so
what do they do with it?
Yes, it comes to us, and then we push it out to people who need it, who otherwise couldn't afford it. But there's so many different things, but more importantly, just advocate. Make sure that if you know someone, there are a lot of seniors that are food insecure. A lot.
And prideful.
Right, Megan? Yes.
I think that's a large part of it, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the little lady that is sitting in the pew with you at church every Sunday who's too proud to ask you for help and too proud to even go to her church pantry.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
But she will come to one of our drive-through distributions, won't she, Megan?
And I honestly think that might be part of one of the advantages, if we're looking at the positives to come out of COVID with the
Right.
drive-thrus, is you may actually see more people that come now that don't have to walk into a facility, that can drive through,
I can see
that
that.
pop their trunk up and don't have to really have a lot of face-to-face engagement because they can feel a little bit more anonymous.
And that older generation is more proud.
Right,
They are.
right.
Very much.
Yeah.
They'll feed them their pets before they'll feed themselves because
believe
that's their
that.
only companion.
Right.
And again, they're so prideful. You know, there was one senior lady in Warren County that we served one day, and she told me she had not had any meat all month long, and it was the last Wednesday of the month. She
Oh,
had not had any
my.
meat. She didn't have the money.
Right.
And
these are things we need to know for two reasons. One, to help those people, and two, to stop complaining about our own lives and appreciate what we have.
Right.
It's
Right.
so super important that we do that every day.
Absolutely.
Wow. And I learned a lot. I had no idea that Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield had a relationship and had such great concern about people eating healthy and staying healthy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I have volunteered with organizations with you all in the past, done the backpacks, and I know that you service the warm blessings and the food kitchens and all of that. I had no idea that you did the families, you know, the individual families. So I learned a lot today, and I bet they did too. So
Yes.
thank you all so much.
Thank you for
and
having
your
us.
passion
Yes.
shows. So we really appreciate what you do in our community because we can't do it without ladies like you. So thank you for what you do. That's it, folks. I hope you learned something. And if you need to know more, call Megan at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield or Jamie at Feeding America, and we'll see you next time.